Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby, if you are not already familiar with me, and I love to talk all things personal finance, organization, and lifestyle. Today's video is going to be the September reset. Yes, today's video is going to be the September financial reset video. I can't believe I'm saying that. That is so beyond weird. I can't believe there's 3 months left of the year. Excuse me, what? I am baffled with how fast 2025 is gone. I can't believe summer is coming to a close. I am not one of those people who deeply enjoys the fall. I always get a little sad at the end of summer because I love summer so much, but I am trying to romanticize the fall and not be so upset about it. In today's video, we are going to be covering everything to do with my finances. We're going to have a close look at how much I spent in the month of August, and then we're also going to set a budget for the month of September. I do these monthly reset videos every single month. I do a financial reset video, and then I do a typical just like lifestyle reset video. So if you are into resets, you should definitely subscribe. I would love to have you here. I will give a little, I have hiccups. This is not a good time for hiccups. I like to give a little context if you are new here on just like who I am, what my financial situation is, all of that. So I am 30 years old. I live in Calgary, Canada now. I used to live in Vancouver, Canada. I'm still getting used to saying Calgary. And I am actually here short term. We will be moving back to Vancouver in the near future. We are here to just help out with some family stuff going on. It has definitely changed my budget a little bit. So we'll talk a little bit more about that now that I feel more settled and we're not like actively moving. I have a 9-to-5 job. I have a sit-down desk job. I have a regular salary from that job. I get paid the same amount every 2 weeks. And then I, ever since the end of 2023, started doing a side hustle where I sell digital products on Etsy. And then I also do social media, YouTube, Instagram, things like that. I primarily make money from my side hustles from actually selling digital products. The influencer income is like a little bit of a side gig, but I do get like a decent paycheck out from YouTube every single month. So that is amazing. I have really increased my salary over the last 1.5 years by doing this side hustle. Beforehand, I was making like my typical 9-to-5 income, and I have done my very damnedest to stick to the amount that I am comfortable spending. I recently actually did a video where I went over my budgets from the past couple of years to kind of digest whether or not I had some sort of lifestyle inflation. I really was under the impression I had inflated my lifestyle, but after reviewing those videos, I kind of got the sense that I have bad months here and there like anyone else, but for the most part, I have really kept my spending at a similar amount, which I'm very, very happy with. And that gives me more opportunity to invest and save for my future. That's what I'm primarily doing with my finances here. I really, really prioritize saving and investing. I like to keep my saving and investing rate at least over 30%. So 30% of my take-home pay I am putting aside for my future. And then the rest of my money that I have left over after that, I can spend on whatever I so desire. I firmly believe in spending your money. I do not want to be an extremely frugal person. I'm not here to save like 50% of what I make. I firmly believe in enjoying the here and now while also prioritizing my future. That was a very in-depth intro on myself. Some other things you should know about me is I don't have any debt at this point. I am currently a renter, have been my whole life. I've never owned anything property-wise. I do own my car though, so no car loan or anything like that. I just have car insurance that I pay one time annually. That is about $1,200. I paid it in June if I'm not mistaken, and then I don't have to pay it for the rest of the year. So there are some bills that I like to pay lump sum one time a year, and you won't see them in my budget, just a heads up. Okay, I think we can actually finally get into it now. I will share my screen. Oh yes, I am showing my budget tracker. I sell this on Etsy. It's one of my digital products that I sell. If you are interested in purchasing this budget tracker, I will leave it in the description box down below. There is also a discount code for 50% off for my YouTube family. And I also have a Notion template I sell. I will leave it in the description box down below. I show that Notion template a little bit more in my monthly reset, my typical monthly reset videos. But if you are curious, all of the links will be in the description box down below. Let's get into it. So overall, I am feeling really good about my finances. I had a very, very expensive June and July because of the move and because of the summer season. Lots of trips, lots of, we went to this Calgary Stampede, which is like a music festival sort of situation. Lots of costs there. Moving was extremely expensive. So my goal for August was to bring my spending down to like my normal regular spending. And I'm very, very happy to say that I definitely got it right back down to where I usually spend, even a little bit lower, I would say. So I'm very, very happy with the way that August turned out. You You can see here at the top, this is like a general overview of all of my spending. So income was about $9,300. Expenses and bills were about $4,000. Savings was $183. This seems really low, but that is because I took money out of my savings, but then I also dumped more money back in. So the net amount of money I saved with all things taken into account was $183. Investments, I invested $2,600, and credit cards, I put $5,500 on my credit cards. This is high because we had so many costs that were expensive in July that I now paid in August. I always just pay my statement balance from the month before. This always works for me because I have like a large amount of money that I can pull from if I absolutely need to. But obviously, if you spend differently every single month, be cautious that you're not overspending one month and then not able to pay it the next month. This always works out fine for me. I put all of my new expenses onto credit cards. So for example, like you can see the expenses and bills over here and the credit cards here. These aren't like cumulative, like I didn't spend like over $9,000 on these things together. I just like re-put things on credit cards and then I paid out of my pocket for my credit card bills. I hope that makes sense. And at the top here as well, you can see all of my cash account balances, my savings account balances, and my credit account balances. For a little while there, some of these numbers were off, especially for the cash and credits. I just went through today and updated everything to make sure it aligns. This is a little tip. I actually had somebody on Etsy ask me how to get your balances up to date if you took a month off or if something happens where you can't figure out why your balances are off. What you can actually do, I'll scroll down to the expense tracker here and show you an example. What you can do is create a line item where you put a dollar value into the line item and then you just put in the account that you need to change the balance of. By doing this in the money in, money out drop downs here, you can see the money in, money out drop downs. By doing this without assigning a category and subcategory, it won't actually go into your budget tables, but you can update the balances. It's not going to reflect anywhere else in the budget. It's just going to make sure that these numbers up at the top are accurate. So if you need to change the balances, that's an easy way to do it. Just a tip. Okay, so I have about $4,000 in my checking account right now. That's great. I have about $1,000 sitting on my credit card. I actually paid this today, so there's like $1,000 left over that I will be carrying forward. And then my couple's Amex this is my couple's card with my boyfriend. I owe about $2,000 on that. That is due the beginning of September, so we'll pay that in the next couple of days. But for the sake of the August budget, we won't be putting anything else on that credit card as of right now. Let's have a look at the budget overview table here. So with the rollover from last month and everything taken into account, I should have about $1,658 left over, which is fantastic. We are still well in the positive, so I'm always happy to see that. Let's look at the 50-30-20 split. So this is my savings, needs, and wants. So savings was 47%. As I mentioned, I want to make sure that's over 30, so I'm very happy with this. My needs were at 28.7%, and then my wants were at 24.3%. I should also mention that because I have side hustle income and influencer income and all that stuff, I actually do have to save a good chunk of what I make from that into a savings account. Like I have to because I'm not taxed on it. So you could argue that my savings rate is inflated. That's like a little tip. I didn't quite hit 100% of my savings goal at 94.5%. I do have money left over, so I could technically save a little bit extra right now. And I hit my investment goal, which is great. And you can see here in the budget versus actual that I don't have a very stark difference between all of my columns, which is great to see. I sometimes have like a very, very off month where I budgeted completely incorrectly. So we were just a little over the budget and I'm super happy to see that. The spending by date down here, I like to have a look at this because it usually gives me an insight into like when I had like a big spike in spending. Sometimes I will notice that I front load my spending at the beginning of the month because I have a fresh, clean budget. I'm not as worried about the amount of money I'm spending. So it looks pretty balanced throughout the month. It looks like on the 14th, I spent a decent amount of money. And then my rent is charged on the 1st of every month right now and not on the 31st. So that's why it jumps up really high at the beginning of the month. Also, I budget from like the 27th to the 27th of every month. So there are some expenses that were charged at the end of July. That's just the way I do it because I film these videos. I think we can dive into the actual tables. So as I mentioned, I pulled quite a bit of money out of my savings. This was for the move. We specifically saved for the move. So I have money coming out of my personal long-term savings account for covering my credit card bills for all of the things we had to put on our credit cards while moving. I budgeted $1,500. I actually needed about $2,100 $50 when it came time to pay my boyfriend's and my couple credit card. So I pulled out the amount I needed, and then I just saved as much as I could throughout the month. So you'll actually see that I did actually save more than this value. I'm not too mad. You know, it's not a net negative. It's just kind of one of those months where we kind of went horizontal with the savings. Income was $94.38. I had $27.09 from my paychecks. This is my 9-to-5 job. I got paid twice. Then I have my Etsy income at $23.53. This is pre-tax. Remember that I have to pay tax on this income. Same with my YouTube AdSense. I got $1,400 there. Gumroad, a smaller portion, $91. And then my alternate business income was only $75. This is like anything else. This could be like sponsorships, partnerships, referrals, commission, anything else that's outside of these top three here. I just put into this category, and that was $75. Let's move on to expenses. So I am very glad to say this is one of the lowest grocery months we've had in a while. I'm very happy to see our groceries are down. It's funny because I do find the grocery items at the grocery stores more expensive here. So I don't think this is actually because it's cheaper here to grocery shop. I think this is simply because I'm working from home now, and I used to do this thing where I would go on my lunch walk and I felt like I needed to go do something productive. So I would go pick up a couple of grocery items we were missing on my lunch walks at work. And I think that that was leading to a lot of just random grocery shopping for like fun, not necessarily for like necessity. So I think that this is generally lower because I'm not leaving the house as much. I'm not like going to grocery shop as a way to get out of the house, or to get out of like, to go for a walk, if that makes sense. So $455, which was under budget, first time in what feels like forever. Transportation was not under budget though. I spent way more on transportation than expected. A lot of this was from when we went to Vancouver for the weekend. We went on a ferry. We did lots of Ubers all the way around the city. We did an Evo, which is like a car rental thing. A lot of this was from that trip alone. And then there were a couple of Ubers and random things here and there. Even scooters. I've been scootering here in downtown Calgary. They have like Bird and Neuron scooters. So I've just been renting those here and there as well. Transportation was over. Not super upset about it. I think this was also 2 gas fillings in my car as well. I think that's also another reason why this is so high. Eating out, major fail. I'm like more than double what I budgeted for eating out. It was just one of those months where it didn't feel like I ate out a lot, but it just added up. We went to Vancouver, as I mentioned, lots of eating out there. We had lots of like social events, seeing people on the weekend, friends and stuff like that. Definitely got expensive. Coffee, $98. So this is something I actually kind of want to talk about in like a shorter reel or something, but I want to do sort of the math on whether buying an expensive Breville coffee machine actually saves you money. I think a lot of people argue it saves you money, but I don't know if we're seeing the returns on that. We used to do the Nespresso pods, and I think we were spending a similar amount to this every month. I think some months we were going over just buying coffees out, but buying beans for the Breville machine is not as cheap as I thought it was going to be. It's actually quite expensive, and you go through beans a lot quicker than I thought we would go through them. So this is actually like not even every single coffee bean we bought, because sometimes it was just in my grocery haul. So I would just put it in groceries. I wasn't going to separate it out, but I did buy beans at DeVille once, and I did buy beans at Cafe Milano once as well. So this is like 2 rounds of bean purchases and then the odd coffee out here and there. But yeah, $98. I don't think we're going to be much lower than that. We'll see. Drinking and cannabis. So this was also a category I'm not super happy about. I felt like I was drinking way too much. My mental health was not amazing because of it, and I would love to just get back to barely drinking alcohol, honestly, honest to God. The summer is just a tough one for me. I feel like there's always just events and things going on, and I get a little bit of FOMO, and then I regret it the next day. Clothes. I am happy to announce I gave myself $200 to buy clothes, and I bought $50 worth of clothes. To be fair though, I did actually put in an order from the Gap that was like $130. I had money in my PayPal account, so when I ordered that Gap stuff, it just took it from my credit, so it kind of felt free. So I didn't add it in the budget here because it was just like kind of cash sitting in that account. I probably should have added it, but like whatever. So I think the $50.40 was, what else did I get? I don't even remember buying anything else. Oh yes, I bought like a little halter top from Aritzia. So that is the one item I bought in my budget tracker for the month of August. Very proud of myself. If you know my monthly reset videos, you know that I typically spend in the clothing category. So $50 is amazing for me. Beauty, I budgeted $50. I think I had a really high beauty spend month in July, if I'm not mistaken. So I really wanted to bring that down, and it was still higher than expected. This is mainly because I ran out of sunscreen. I buy my sunscreen from Style Vana. Lana. It's like a website you can get like Asian and Korean skincare from. So I usually just order like a big batch. I think they charge a decent amount for shipping as well. So usually when I'm ordering like a good amount of stuff. So I think I got 2 sunscreens, a body lotion, and a facial serum. So that is like a good chunk of this. I think I also bought like a body lotion from Shoppers that was insanely expensive. I think I bought a Eucerin body lotion and it was $32. When did body lotion get so insanely expensive? I like in my head, I was like, this should be 12 bucks, you know? But yeah, that is my beauty spending for the month. Fun, I spent $90, budgeted $100, so under budget. I can't tell you exactly what this fun was for. I think I went to a movie. Let's see what else I bought. I bought a book on Kindle. Oh, we went golfing and we also paid for a beer each. So that's in there. I guess that could technically go under drinking. Oh, I put my Macro Factor subscription under there. This is like a calorie tracking app that I've been really enjoying. Yeah, went to the movies. That was only $8. And yeah, that was most of it. So I think golfing was like the biggest chunk of it. Then we have the boys, which is my 2 cats. And we only spent $82 on them, which is shockingly low, honestly. I feel like every month I'm usually spending at least $150 on them. We do have to put an order in for their food and litter today. So I'll probably be adding that to the budget today. So this will probably double. This will probably be closer to the $160 mark, but still under budget. So not mad. Health, I spent $60. I actually technically spent more than this because I had a massage that they don't charge straight to my insurance. So I actually paid like I think I paid $100 for the massage and then I had to give a tip. So this is something that's completely new to me, is tipping at a massage. Let me know in the comments, do you guys tip when you get a service done, like a massage, or if you were to go to like acupuncture, for example, like do you tip? This is completely new to me. My massage spot in Vancouver didn't even prompt you for a tip because it's like a service. Like you wouldn't tip your dentist or you wouldn't tip your therapist. You know what I mean? Like they're professionals. So that's in my head, like tipping a massage therapist to me feels like tipping my dentist. It feels weird. Let me know if you guys tip your massage therapist. I'm curious if that's like a cultural thing. Apparently here it's way more common, and I think they make less money from their actual career, so they kind of rely on tips here in Calgary, is what I've heard through the grapevine. So I will tip here. I'm just like it's kind of weird to me to tip on a massage, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, so this is like a tip, and I think I bought some supplements as well. And then the rest of my massage, I just left out of the budget for now because I'm gonna go through insurance. We'll see if I owe anything additional on top. I'll just add it in September. Gifts, I spent $33. I think this was like, I think I bought a drink for my cousin at her bachelorette, and then I think something else small. I think I bought a bottle of wine for somebody, something like that. So very low on gifts. Home, we spent $220. We were expecting to spend about $400. I'm super happy with this. I think we're getting to a point where the home is feeling very comfortable and nice. We're not like desperately needing things. And also we're being very mindful because we have to move in a few months. So I don't want to like accumulate a bunch of crap that we're not going to be able to bring back with us. And we're going to have to like resell very soon here. So I think for the rest of 2025, I will be spending very little on the home, maybe a couple of tiny things here and there, but we're very happy with the way our place is looking right now. So this is good. I'm not going to be spending too much on home in the future. Miscellaneous. This category seems to be growing every month. There just seems to be random things that I don't know where to put. Because we have a couple's credit card and because we have separate Amazon accounts, anything that's charged to the couple's credit card that I don't recognize off the bat, like if it just says Amazon, I usually put here, because sometimes it's just David ordering random stuff. Sometimes it could very well be me, but I usually just dump it here. So this is usually like any of our Amazon purchases for the month. I can't even think of what else it would be, to be honest. Let's have a look. Yeah, Amazon credit repayment. Oh yes, I owed the government money. Because me and David were not claiming what is it? Commonwealth? No, common law. Because me and David weren't claiming common law. David's my boyfriend, by the way. We live together. Because we weren't claiming common law on our taxes, I was below the threshold to get the like HST rebate or climate action rebate. I was getting rebates. And then this year on our taxes, we finally claimed common law. So now our household income is above that threshold. So they made me pay them back the credit they gave me earlier this year. That's what that is. Oh yes, I also ordered a Nexus replacement card. I lost my Nexus. Okay, so that's all of the miscellaneous charges. Not too mad about it. It's over. but whatever. Travel, $34.40. This was for seat selection on our flights back from Vancouver. We went on the August long weekend, so the very first weekend of August, and on the way back, I paid for me and David to get a seat together because it's nice. And then donations, I budgeted $80 and I donated $114. I believe I donated to, where did I donate to? I always donate to the SPCA. I have like a typical donation set up. And then I also donated, oh yeah, to PETA. I saw this god-awful advertisement for this like pig dying in a factory farm, and it got me. I'm like a vegetarian / plant-based person, so I don't know. If you show me animal cruelty happening, it'll get me every single time. Okay, so that is the total expenses for August. I almost just went to September and pretended the budget was done. We still have more to cover. I have one of my cat hairs just sitting on my lip. Oh my God, the worst. Bills and subscriptions here. I have rent at $11.95. This is my half of our rent here. My phone bill is $70. Internet is $57. Renter's insurance, I think David's just paying it. I don't know. I haven't seen it. We have it, I just don't know where it is. REN is a climate initiative service that you can pay for to offset your carbon footprint. I pay for that every month. I have this is TD Visa fee, but it's actually for our couples card. We got an offer to upgrade our Amex Cobalt to the Amex Gold with like a crazy point add-on if we upgraded. So we were charged the $250 for the annual fee, and we are currently using the Amex Gold credit card as our couples credit card. So that's what that is. I must have missed our couples Amex charge. Oh, right, because we're paying annually now. We don't have to pay monthly. That makes sense. Audible, I paused for the month because I still have a credit left over. And then in my apartment building, I have to pay for parking. So my half is $150, and then we have to pay a pet fee, which is also $20 every single month. Savings, I basically met all of my savings goals. 100 for my car fund, 100 for my cat fund, 100 for my personal fund, 75 for my weddings fund. This is to like go to a weddings or for a future wedding. My holidays fund, this is for Christmas and like gifts for birthdays and things like that. So I put $100 there. Travel fund, oh, you know what? I really need to start thinking about this holiday fund more because Christmas is fast approaching. Travel fund, I put $300 in there. We're actually due to pay for our trip we're going on in the fall to go to my cousin's wedding. We're due to pay that in September. So I have to be mindful of that when setting the September budget. Business save, I put $190 in. This is 5% of what I make back from the business goes into a savings account for future purchases. Then I have $1,170 put aside for my business taxes. I just do 30% of what I make for business taxes. And then in my personal long-term account, I was hoping to save $300. I only put $148 in here. But as I mentioned, I have money left over. I could definitely put a little extra in this account if I wanted to. My goal for the month was to invest $400 more than I typically invest. So every single paycheck, I invest $1,100. So that totals up to $2,200. And because I wanted to put $400 extra, I invested $2,600. My credit cards, I owed about $1,600 when I looked at it at the beginning of the month, but I put $2,000 on that today. And then I thought I owed about $4,000 for our couples card, but it was actually closer to $3,500. So that's everything that went onto my credit cards this month. And yeah, I think that is everything for August. So let's have a look at September. I actually haven't set a budget for September, so we will kind of walk through the budget for September right now. I don't think it's a 2-paycheck month, definitely not. So I am actually gonna put this closer to the amount I make, 27. And then Etsy, I'd like to budget a little bit lower than what I typically get just to be safe. Wow, my posture. I'm just leaning. I need a better situation for filming, I will say that. It would be nice to have like an accent chair or something for me to sit on here. YouTube AdSense, I think I have at least $1,100 that I will be paid from AdSense that I can see as of right now. So we'll put that up. I will put my Gumroad at 75, and then we will leave everything else as is. Expenses, so we do have to be very mindful of that trip coming up. So I think it's about $2,300. I'm gonna put $2,500 just to be safe, but I think that also means that I have to pull money from my travel account because I've been saving for this. So we're gonna put $2,500 right there in the savings income table. If you aren't familiar with the budget, the savings income table is how you can pay yourself from your savings. And this way your budget balances out, because I think it's confusing if you know you have money set aside for savings, for spending on a specific thing, but then your budget looks like it's really off because you have to pay yourself from your savings. Groceries, I'm gonna go, I feel like in the fall, I start to retreat more into the home, go out to restaurants a little bit less, spend more time cooking. So I think I'm gonna leave my budget at 500 and we'll see if we can stick around that number, and then we can lower the eating out quite a bit. I think I want to say like 150 max for eating out, and I want to stick closer to that. I will say, do I have any trips in September? I don't think I have a single trip in September. So I'm gonna go 150 for transportation. See if we can meet that. Coffee, I'm gonna go 85. I think we can go a little bit lower than what I was spending last month. Drinking and cannabis, as I mentioned, I want to bring this down. So we're gonna leave it at 75. Clothes, I find the fall and the spring is when I'm like wanting to buy new clothes. So and I'm also looking at a dress for the wedding I'm going to in the fall. I really want to purchase a dress on the end of summer sales that are usually happening at this point right now. So I do think I'm going to put an order in for a dress. I think I want to stick in the ballpark of at like 200 or lower for that dress. And then if I pick up a couple other items for the fall, I think a reasonable amount to put here is about $400. I've been really good the last 2 months with clothes, so I'm not upset if I spend closer to the $400 mark, especially if 200 of that comes from a dress. Beauty, I do think I am due for Botox, and that usually runs me a little under 300. So I'm gonna go 400, give myself $100 buffer for any like products running out, things like that. Fun, I think I can go like 50 is like usually a good number for me outside of the summer. So we're gonna stick around that. I'm gonna go 150 for the boys again, which is my cats. Health, I'm gonna go, I really need to go to therapy, and I'm gonna do it this month. I keep saying it. I've been saying it for like 8 months. I've been dragging my feet on this, but I really need to go. So I'm gonna go 300. 1 second, I'm just gonna close the door because I can hear David. Okay, where was I? Am I having wardrobe malfunction? Health, where was I? Gifts. September is my great friend Megan's birthday. I love how I say great friend. She's not a good friend, she's a great friend. And it's also my dad's birthday. So I'm gonna go 100 for each of them. Then home, I'm gonna go 100, just for like more so candles, little things like that, just to make the home feel more fall without actually like buying furniture. I think that's fair. Miscellaneous, this seems to be a category that keeps growing. I'm just gonna go 200 to be safe and budget accordingly. And then donations, I'm gonna go 100 again for donations. So the budget is high, but $2,500 of this is coming from travel. So if you take $2,500 off, that's really close to my typical budget. So I'm actually quite happy with that. Bills, I think, should be the same. I'm gonna take out Audible because I haven't even used my credit yet. So I'll probably use that next month. And renter's insurance I'll take out because I don't know who's paying that. And it looks like our internet is sitting closer to the $57 mark now. And yeah, everything else looks good there. Car fund, this is for my car insurance every year, and then also just extra money for car maintenance. I do need to get my winter tires on, which is something I have not had to do since I was a teenager. So that is something that hopefully either my dad can do for free for me, or I may have to pay for it. So yeah, we'll just leave $100 here. And then if I need to pull money out of it, I can always refill it back later. Cat fund, 100 seems good. Personal flex, 100 seems good. I never seem to be pulling from my personal flex fund. I made this account because I wanted to feel less guilt about shopping, like clothes, beauty, things like that. And I made this account so that I could pull from it every time I bought something that was like, you know, in that category. But I haven't been using it. But now I have this like really nice little fund of money that I could use for maybe like a bigger purchase in the future. Like maybe if I need a new phone soon or something like that, or like another piece of tech. So I'm just gonna continue dumping money into this account because it's working right right now, and then I can easily sort of buy myself something nice in the future. Wedding fund, I do want to amp this up leading up to the wedding because I will be pulling money from this account while we're in Mexico for my cousin's wedding. So I'm actually gonna go, I think like 250 here for the month of September. Holiday fund, as I mentioned, I do want to start ramping this up. So we'll go 100 there. Travel fund, I won't need to put as much money into this account anymore because we're going to be pulling the money out. But I do have some travels next year that I'm planning. So I don't want to take too much from this. So I'm going to go 200 here. Business save and business taxes. I like to do the amount that I budget here. I am doing this one-handed, so give me a moment. And then I times that by 0.05, and that is my 5% of what, oh, question mark, that'll do it. Okay, yeah, so that is 5% of what I estimate. And then as the month goes on, if I make more money than what is shown here, I'll just update the budget column, and then I know exactly how much I need to budget. And then I'm gonna do this exact same formula here in this column, but we're gonna change it to 0.3 for 30% of what I need to pay. And then my personal long-term account, I've just been dumping money into this account for in the future, potentially buying a bunch of furniture, or, you know, if we ever like buy a house, like this could be costs associated with that. I know that part of my life is coming up. So I am just like dumping money into this long-term account. But because I'm putting a little bit more into the wedding account and still budgeting the rest of my accounts, I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. I think I'm gonna go 150 here. Okay, so that's, I think, good. And then I can always add in more later on if things look good. 2,200 is my typical investment. I'm gonna aim to put 200 extra into my typical investment. I'm gonna put 200 beyond my typical investment into my account, so that's 2,400. Let's see if that all balances out. Does that make sense? Oh, credit card payments. Didn't pay anything on my credit cards. I know already I owe, I think it's like 1,800 on my couples card for, is that right? I'm just gonna go 2,000 to be safe. And then my TD Visa, I'm just gonna put like 1,700. This is usually somewhere in the ballpark where it is. Okay, let's have a look now. Okay, yeah, so 2,300 left over. Amazing. Okay. I'm very happy with this. I will reassess everything as the month goes on. If we are spending way too much at any point, then maybe I won't add more money to savings or investments. And if we are on track with all of our spending, then I will probably add more to my savings and investments. I think that is everything for the financial reset for September. Can't believe I'm saying that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. If you made it to the end of the video, I'm gonna start doing this at the end of every financial video. Leave me the emoji. What emoji should I do? What's my favorite emoji? Oh, the sparkle emoji. Duh, of course that's my favorite emoji. Leave a sparkle emoji in the description. What? If you made it to the end of this video, leave the sparkle emoji in the comments down below so I know that you made it to the end. You guys are the real ones who make it to the end of these long ass videos. I really, really appreciate it. My attention span, sometimes I can't make it to the end of the video, so I really appreciate it when you guys do. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.